Hey guys, how's it going? My name's Chet Eagles. I'm in Downingtown Area School District Tech Ed teacher in the high school level. This is going to be my Ignite talk to hopefully go over what I've learned through this class through formative assessment. So my thesis statement is when it comes to teachers and students, there's a lot that goes into making sure that they both achieve. Students and teachers are not alone when it comes to this. They must work together to be successful. The strategies that we learned through the semester play a huge role. So I'm hoping to go over these 7 strategies in a little bit of detail to try to show what I mean by how they play a role in assessment and achievement of students. So strategy 1 is to provide that clear and visual understanding, and it's important. If students do not know what they want to learn, then how can you expect them to learn that material? So it's very important to make sure that you are adjusting that. And then it's important for strategy 2 to put those examples out. Make sure they can see strong and weak work so that they know how to judge themselves on whether they feel their work is strong or weak or if it needs improvement as they're moving through with learning. In strategy 3, they want you to give descriptive feedback. So when students are working, whether it's a formative or summative assessment, it's important to give them feedback so they know where they can improve, but all at the same time where they are making great strides in their learning. It affects their attitude. And then they need to teach the students to self-assess and set goals. Not just think about what they're doing and assess what they're doing, but how to move through with setting a goal for their next step with that assessment. And then in strategy 5, it's important that students show evidence of that learning and determine their next steps in teaching. So teachers take what evidence they see from the students' learning and teach based on that learning from them. And then move into like a focus instruction and a followed by practice and feedback. So use that to focus your instruction, allow them to practice, and then give them feedback again. So you're basically following and repeating as it goes through in order to get that back to the students. Hopefully soon you can move to strategy 7, which is having the students track and reflect on themselves and share their learning progress. So they're basically doing that by themselves. They're tracking their learning, reflecting on that learning, and sharing the progress with the teacher. It all ties together that they build on one another. The first thing they need to know is what are they expected to learn so that they can monitor and assess and change and set goals as they're moving through with that. So without the one, you can't have the other. Formative assessment is a good way to do this. The book describes it as not a simple instrument or event, but a collection of practices with a common feature. I looked at it as a way of assessing students either with an assessment or an observation that has further instructional needs. You use formative assessment because it's more than just grading. Formative assessments allow the teacher and student to have a role in their learning, and with formative assessment, the student and teacher can assess the teaching and learning to see where the improvements need to be made from this point forward. The teacher's role is to basically teach students how to assess and redesign their instruction based on the results of what assessments they take from the students. Now, the student's role is they need to learn how to monitor and record their learning styles and how to understand how to assess effectively. And then they need to be able to set goals off their own assessments so that they can continue to learn and progress through the education. Now, they work together as the role of the teacher and student come together to make a higher impact on achievement because students need to be taught from the teacher how to assess, and then they need to take that learning and assess themselves and create conversation and questions, and then teachers will use that information to drive instruction. So, coming full circle, the standard strategies work together to help a more effective classroom. Formative assessment is the overwhelming theory behind the 7 strategies to me. It's about assessing students and teaching them to assess themselves and using that to drive instruction. Now, if we keep on going, teachers have a role. They need to teach the students. They need to assess to drive their instruction. And then students have a role. They must work to assess themselves and set goals, to meet goals, to get what they want out of the learning. But they must both work together. Without one helping the other, it's really not going to go where both of them want it to go, which is hopefully to achieve at the highest level possible in that grade. So that was my presentation. There was a quick thing about the references I used, which is basically the book we used for this semester. So I hope this was informative, and this is just a little of what I've learned throughout the semester about the 7 strategies and how to use them with formative assessment.